Giants, and welcome back. I am Maya Abramson.
And I'm Cheryl Newsom. Let's take a look at all the changes happening around Ben Davis.
Here's Zach with what's happening with Harvest.
For over 25 years, Harvest has served to students and teachers alike, while simultaneously teaching college-level curriculums to the future chefs.
The idea of Harvest was fresher food, and one of the goals was, and hopefully still maybe is, to do a fresh herb garden outside and some of that kind of stuff. But the idea is to have the freshest of ingredients we can to also kind of meet the budget that a school has. So we don't have infinite money. Now that we aren't able to serve students anymore, we don't have the revenue that we had before. So it's finding new business partnerships, bringing new business in, and trying to have that fresh ingredient possible.
You heard him right. For the first time in over 30 years, Harvest will be closing its doors off to students. This has not only affected Ben Davis students as a whole, but also students of the Culinary Arts program.
It was legislation that changed that we had to abide by the Healthy Food Act that was put into place. And what we do in this class, it's hard to serve students. It makes it very hard for us to do and still teach the college level curriculum that we're doing. The big effect this year is going to be our business. 70 to 80% of our business was students. So where do we find a replacement for that revenue stream? And so we're looking at reaching out to local businesses, doing some flyering to them, maybe coming to Harvest and get an entree, we'll give you a free dessert, good for so long, to try to promote some of that outside business coming in to help keep that break-even point for us so we can keep the program running.
The culinary students at Harvest need as much support as they can get. To find out about open events to try their food, go to their Twitter at Area 31 Culinary, where they post open events regularly. Zachary Haynes, BDTV.
Thanks, Zach. Now that you know a little bit of why the Harvest closed, let's see some of the students' reactions.
I think it's really unfair because we're stuck eating these free reduced lunches that are set to a certain standard, but they're really just coming out of bags. But teachers always have the opportunity to go and have these meals that are kind of made, and you get to choose what you want to eat, versus this is kind of it's chosen for you, and sometimes it isn't fit to what everyone wants to eat.
I feel like it shouldn't have been shut down because that was the #1 hangout spot that a lot of kids would go. And now that it's shut down, it's the lunchroom is full, and half of the kids can't even go to lunch, and they just sit in the hallway or sit in the library. And on days that the library are closed, they have nowhere to go.
It was a terrible idea because it gave a lot of opportunities to the students to do something at their own free will, and basically it helped them learn how to cook and provide.
I just feel as if they should bring it back because it was an alternative to school lunch, and whoever was cooking it, it was good. Shout out to y'all.
Kira Goss, BDTV.
Hello Giants, I'm Jennifer Moreno. Today I'm going to be finding out how much students really know about the 2019-2020 Student Handbook.
My parents should call to report my absence by, 8:30.
Right before school? You said what time?
I think the day before, the day you're going to be absent, you know what I mean?
I believe students shouldn't bring a lot of pencils to school because it's easy to lose them, boys.
Money, cash, food.
Like snacks, so they don't have to share with anybody.
Cost of having a reprinted ID is probably $5.
Like $10? $2? Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but you can go ask in the bookstore.
Yeah.
Student with good grades, behavior, and attendance, rewarded with a diploma.
Being better than everyone else? Student helper. I don't know.
Graduating.
Oh, being an office assistant.
Clothing that's appropriate is stuff that covers your body, and if it doesn't cover your body, it's not appropriate.
Showing your belly. You can't wear crop top. No booty shorts. Cover shirts is acceptable. No hoods on your head.
No crop tops. No do-rags.
No wife beaters.
No wife beaters. Y'all can have jewelry, you know. For the gym.
Yeah,
you feel me?
that's about it.
Second and third graders who have been positively impacted simply because you gave one of the most precious resources you have, and that's your time.
Last week at BDU, there was a host luncheon that recognized different companies who helped out this program. They also honored students and teachers who've made a big impact on the organization.
This program, we serve about 350 to 400 students every year in second and third grade. Those students read every day with a mentor for half an hour a day and do some activities that have been built to serve their needs and help them become a better reader. One day a week they meet with our host lead teachers. Those lead teachers teach them reading lessons and help them understand some things about reading that then they can have reinforced with the mentors throughout the week.
There are many companies that are host mentors, such as the Aviation Institute of Maintenance.
What it does for us is it gives us a chance to really give back to our community, to work with kids who may have some challenges with reading, which honestly just kind of inspires us as people. It makes you feel good to volunteer. The program itself is a great outlet and a great resource for us to be able to kind of give back to our community and also to enjoy an hour of time working with some third graders on a Friday afternoon. So I know that it's been very impactful for myself, but also for my staff.
I had a good experience through Host, and they teach me how to read and use certain things to help me through reading and ways to learn how to read. Kids need help with this program. The kids need help, so this program helps them with reading, and it teaches them how to read more properly and focus. And it's important because some kids won't be able to learn that without this program.
Alfred Moore, BDTV.
Thanks, AJ. Today I'm here with a follow-up from last week's Lee Live Indy event. We reached out to Mr. Theobald, the Area 31 criminal justice teacher, about gun violence. Mr. Theobald is a recently retired police officer who has served for 24 years, 21 of those years in Speedway, Indiana, and 3 as an Indiana State police officer.
I started with the Speedway Police Department in 1997, and I retired last December, so 2018. I retired on a Friday, and I started teaching at Area 31 on a Monday. When I retired from Speedway Police Department, I was a captain of operations, so I was in charge of the uniform division. I was also in charge of public information, doing news media, doing interviews, releasing public information to our friends in the press. Also oversaw the SWAT team and community relations for the department and the town.
We Live Indy is a social event to bring awareness to gun violence. Mr. Theobald is going to tell us about what laws have been passed to help prevent gun violence.
The Laird Law, and that's helped officers all over the state. And if we investigate that, we're able through a warrant to go in and remove the weapons from the home. That does not necessarily somebody be arrested, but at least for the safety of the community and the family, that we can take those weapons. And then the judge is the one that gets to decide whether those get returned or not.
The Area 31 criminal justice class is preparing students to go into law enforcement by physical training, mock crime scenes, and the study of law.
In this class, especially for criminal justice students here at Area 31, we really kind of break down, from the beginning. There's a lot of debate out there about, what's the issues with gun violence, who's to blame, and that's a big one right now. But, there's a lot of the studies behind, whether it be gun control or whether it be issues with mental illness. And obviously, if both sides are very weak right now, that's where we could have a lot of problems. That's what we're doing our best, I think, as a society, to try to have a better idea how to approach it. Not just from a government level, but from a social level of neighborhoods, schools, families.
Remember, students, if you see something, say something. Maddie Gaimon, BDTV. Remember, students, if you see something, say something. Maddie Gaimon, BDTV.
Thanks, Maddie, for reminding us of how important our safety is. Now to Anaya for our weekly forecast.
Hey Giants, my name's Anaya Marfia. We got a pretty sunny weekend ahead of us, but make sure you bring an umbrella to prepare for the rainy week. Today it's going to be partly cloudy. Although we have a high of 75, bring a jacket for our Friday night football because we'll have a chilly low of 57. Tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 75 and a low of 57. Sunday it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 80 and a low of 62. Monday it's going to be partly cloudy again and have a high of 85 and a low of 66. Tuesday we're going to have a 30% chance of rain with a high of 84 and a low of 66. Wednesday we're going to have a 30% chance of rain with a high of 82 and a low of 64. Thursday we're going to have a 30% chance of rain with a high of 82 and a low of 61. And finally, to end out the week on Friday, we're going to have a 20% chance of rain and a high of 77 and a low of 58. I'm Anaya Marfia. Now let's hear from Vanessa with an update on Purple Rain.
Hey Giants, hope you're ready for tonight's first official football game. Tonight's theme will be Whiteout. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. at Brownsburg High School. Make sure you come out and support and show your school spirit. Also, tune in to next week to find out next week's theme as we take on the Avon Orioles at home. And remember, there's a reason they call us Giants. Vanessa Ticino, BDTV.
Thanks, Adrian. We look forward to see what the future has in store for Ben Davis student athletes. Now, let's check in with Marshawn to see what's going on with theater.
Thanks, Maya. The Ben Davis Choir Department is putting on a musical called Once on This Island, a story of forbidden love tested in the face of death by the gods.
The reason that I chose Once on This Island this year is because, first of all, it's important that the students are able to relate to the storyline. So whenever I pick a show, I want to pick something that the students are going to relate to. This show also is very diverse, and so it is great to highlight our diverse demographic here at the high school. And lastly, I think the storyline of the show will apply to not only the audience members, but to the cast as well, as I mentioned. So I think it's going to be a great show to reach out to the community and to bridge those gaps as well.
Signing off, Marshawn Porter, BDTV, and now to Alex to take us further into the theater department on Frankenstein.
Thanks, Marshawn. Everybody knows the story of Frankenstein.
Dr. Victor von Frankenstein, a promising young doctor who, devastated by the death of his mother during childbirth, becomes obsessed with bringing the dead back to life. Here's some things you didn't know about Frankenstein. Number 1, it is partially based on a true story involving a doctor. Number 2, Frankenstein's monster is given no name in the book but is only referred to as creature, monster, fiend, vile insect, wretch, demon, being, and it. Number 3, Frankenstein has inspired more than 130 movies. Alex Meinzinger, BDTV.
There, Daddy's here. Daddy's gotcha.
Psych!
LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James.
All I want to tell you is, school's not important. Be whatever you want to be. If you want to be a dog, ruff, you know?
When life gives you lemons. People say I can't do what I love without college. But I don't need a degree to be a clothing hanger. Ah! I could have dropped my croissant.
We hope you enjoyed today's newscast.
Tune in next week for yet another. And remember, Giants, if it's about you and me, it's on BDTV.